All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Terrible Towel post-game show. Right. And you guys are probably getting some echoing right there. Apologize for that. But let's go ahead and make it happen, man. Y'all know the routine. We're going to sit back here and give me a second, man. I'm still looking at the game, but give me a second. I'm going to share the link with a few special people as I see Deontay Johnson here. The nice catch on the sideline. Devlin Hodges makes a nice throw there. So give me a moment, guys. I didn't want to wait until the end of the game, man, because, I'm not going to be that long tonight. You guys got to respect that, man. It's Saturday night. Got to spend some time with the wifey. You guys should understand that. But I want to spend some time with you guys as well. So give me a second, man. Let me share the link out to a few special folks. Malik Williams running hard right there. And we'll get this thing cracking here, crack-a-lacking in just a moment. But what's good, folks? I hope you guys are enjoying still a football tonight. We saw some good things tonight, and we're definitely going to talk about those good things. We saw some things that are concerning, and we also, saw some depth chart movement, in my opinion. So that's really what I'm going to talk about. I took massive notes, so I'm really just going to run through that. But let me check in with the family. I see you guys are already up in here. Looks like we have more AGWSs in the building. King Money Sean, Jordan Mid, Jay Vega, Jared Devil, Lance Watson, Laquan Lighty, Smitty, and Jason Miles. He says Afghanistan in the building. Wow. Hey, I'm going to give you a round of applause bright and early. Appreciate that, my guy. I really do appreciate that. Appreciate you. All the way from Afghanistan. And I'm assuming, I don't know for sure, but maybe you're in the military. So if you are, thank you for your service and be safe out there. All right, let's see what's going on here, man. We're crossing the 50-yard line. Look like the Steelers are in position to possibly get some more points. So I'm just going to wait for a few more people to get up in here. What's up, fun guy? My brother Kenyon. My brother Tony. In the building, been talking to these guys all night. Basically in the text message that we have, what's up, Lance Watson, why Diggy in the building. Just gonna allow a few more people to get here, before we start rolling. And keep in mind, man, if you guys choose to call in tonight, phone number is right there on the screen. We're gonna keep it short. I gotta get strict with the time. Okay, I have to limit you guys to 2 minutes. Whether you're done or not. I might have to jump in. Look at this guy, Spencer. This guy, Deontay Spencer, guys. That's why I wanted to keep the game on as I started this show here. I got to add to my notes. For you guys who may not be watching it, it's an end-around play. He turns the corner, cuts on the Jets, and picks up a healthy game to get us down to, let me see where we at. Down to about the 28-yard line. Deontay Spencer, man. Actually, let me, where is it? Where's my notations here? I got some stuff on him. Just got to find it. I don't know where my notes are, but I'll remember. I'll definitely remember, and we'll talk about them. All right, we got a few people in here, so let's go ahead and get it rolling, man. Again, appreciate everybody coming out tonight so far. This is the post-game show for you guys that are familiar with me from Terrible Towel Tuesday. Excuse me. I will continue to do this following each game. Obviously, preseason give us the opportunity to do that because there's an actual game. Throughout the season, I do that for you guys who are new. And also, I do Terrible Towel Tuesday. Every Tuesday, basically, is designed to, to kind of talk about the upcoming opponent, if you will. I don't do that in preseason. It's just, we pick a subject to cover. But in the season, I talk about the upcoming opponent. And then on the post-game show, we reflect back on the game or what have you. And then in between, if there's some real news to talk about, injury status, things like that, I'll be doing Steeler updates, the Steeler report. And those would probably be Wednesday and Fridays. But we'll see how it goes. I plan to up the ante, in this season to try to get this thing to grow and get as big as it can be. So, all right, what we're going to talk about, man, Don't let me forget about Spencer, guys. Don't let me forget about Spencer. So what I'm basically going to do, just to give you guys some structure tonight, I'm going to talk about the first series, the very first series on offense. Then I will talk about the first series on defense. And then I will pick some individual players that I want to talk about, and I have notes compiled for those players. And look at this. Deontay Johnson with a touchdown, baby. Let me add that to his resume as far as my notations. Okay. Y'all hear me clickety clacking with my typing there. I'm good with the typing. Let me watch this replay. See, I love doing this stuff live, man, so I can kind of give you guys the feeling as it's happening in case you guys are not watching. Nice pass by Hodges. Oh, ball hit the ground, but he didn't lose possession, so it's probably going to be a touchdown. Wasn't really a nice pass by Hodges. It was a decent pass. Johnson had to adjust to it. And wow, there you have it. The Steelers look like they're going to go up 16. Well, they may go up 17-7. The play is under review right now, so I'll hold tight. Let's get through this play, and then I promise I'm going to start the show. Yeah, tip of the ball hit the ground a little bit. He never lost possession. So, according to what that new rule is, well, it was new last year. You don't have to survive the ground, so to speak. Tip of the ball hits the ground. He has it. He has full possession. Let me see. Doesn't look like it bobbles. Let me see. No, he got that thing. That's a touchdown. Now, for you guys who didn't see, and I'll talk about it tonight, he already got called for offensive pass interference on another touchdown, which was bogus. All right, so the play stands. So assuming Boswell is going to make this extra point, we'll be up 17-7, 4 minutes and 22 seconds left, so we can go ahead and get started. So, all right, man. Again, for you guys who just got in here tonight, what we're going to talk about, first series offense and defense. Then I'll talk about some individual players, and then I'll just talk about some events and things that I saw throughout the game. All right, that's how we're going to do it. Quick show, in and out. If you guys call in, I would love you to do so, but I will limit you guys to just 2 minutes. So again, not trying to be a rude dude, but if you go beyond that, I'm going to have to hit the button. You know, I don't have it plugged up tonight, but the 2-minute warning or what have you, and I might have to just mute you at that point. It is what it is, because, again, I'm speaking things into existence. I'm expecting this thing to grow. I'm expecting a show one night where we got 40 people calling. So we're going to have to be, you know what I mean? All right, so let's do it. First series on offense. Interesting thing that I noticed, man, the Steelers came out, the first time they came out in 11 personnel, it was Moncrief, Eli, and Juju, right? You would think that could possibly be the starters. Eli was in the slot. I would prefer to see Juju in the slot, but I'm cool with the mix and match. But I would like to see Juju in the slot more than being at the Z. I just prefer that. I prefer his matchup. I think he can eat there. I think when we see Moncrief, Washington, and Juju, it will be that. I think Washington will be the Z, Moncrief will be the X, Juju will be inside, but that's an interesting thing to note. Now, on that first drive, it didn't look too good. We didn't really do that great on the runs. James Conner was running hard like he always does, but then Rudolph misfires on a 3rd and short to Juju. We went 3 and out. So at that point, I was feeling kind of bad. I was like, okay, come on, Rudolph. But we're going to talk about Rudolph in a minute. Defensive first series. Dirty Red comes out and starts, and I'm wondering what's happening to Bush. All right, we hear from the booth as well as from Missy Matthews that it was a coach decision. I don't think it has anything to do with injury. He was back in practice in the last training camp practice. He was sat out a day before that. So it might be something minor, but I think they're probably just being cautious with him. They saw what he could do last week. So I'm assuming that they're not really, they're not willing to push the boundary with him. And again, guys, in case you're just coming in, you're probably going to hear the TV in the background. Still got the game on. But anyway, Dirty Red starts. And on that first possession, let me see what I got here. I made a note that Dirty Red did get burnt a little bit later in the game. trying to play coverage there. So clearly, my thoughts on that, I will say that really quick. Dirty Red is just definitely not the guy that I would prefer to see out on the field defensively. He can make some tackles, and that's what he did in college, but he is a liability, clearly a liability in the, pass coverage game. So that's not what I want to see. I do not want to see Dirty Red, out there in pass coverage. Now, continuing with the first drive, TJ Watt gets good pressure on Mahomes to force the third down, and it was great man coverage on 3rd and 4. Excellent coverage by Mark Barron on the wheel route. Outstanding. It's good to see that. Very encouraging to see that the Steelers are coming out and they're going to go man. 3rd and 4. I loved it. And again, this was against Mahomes in the offense. And Mark Barron was in perfect position on the wheel route. Forces a very tight throw, incomplete. We get him off the field. Even though they did pick up a first down or so on that drive, we got him off the field when we needed to. Excuse me. That's all I've been asking from our Steelers. I'm going to take a quick drink of water, if you don't mind. Tuzar Skipper just got a sack. I'm going to talk about him as well. Let me put it in my side notes here. 1 second. Tuzar Skipper just got a sack. All right. So let's talk about some individual players really quick, man, so we can be in and out of here. I'm going to save Mason Rudolph for the last. Let's talk about, I'll save him for last, I guess. Let's talk about James Washington. James Washington is continuing to shine in this preseason. He made some great plays tonight. He's showing his hands. He's showing the fight for the ball, going up, snatching it out of the air. Made a lot of good plays. Even on a play that they called, they said he didn't get the first down. He slipped out of a tackle, picked up 6 yards and got to the sticks, but it was like, 4 inches, and I believe we went for it and got it. But James Washington, 2 consecutive weeks, showing up. This is what we're going to need out of James Washington. If we can get this type of effort from James Washington, that's what I'm saying. He might not be the fastest guy, but if he's one of those type guys that's a combative catcher, that what he was known for in college, he could possibly help to draw a little bit away from Juju. And whatever Moncrief is going to give us. Hopefully Moncrief will be that guy that can blaze. We know he's fast. I think we're going to see his downfield capability with Ben, because Ben is going to take shots down the field. Excuse me, guys. I keep coughing. Sorry about that. But yeah, James Washington, excuse me, all I said was making big plays down the field, combative plays, and James Washington is showing a lot of promise. Happy about that. Let's talk about another guy. Mike Hilton. Guys, there were 2 plays in this game where I don't know what Mike Hilton was doing. Particularly on the touchdown that he gave up. If you go back and look at that play, I wish I had the all 22, but even if you look at the TV camera view, I don't know what he was doing. Even if he thought he was in zone coverage, you should carry this guy a lot further, because there's nobody in front of you as I'm looking at the TV here. All right, nice tackle right there on the screenplay. But I don't know what he was doing, man. Concerns me a little bit. 2 big plays he gave up tonight, and they were clearly on him in what looked to be man cover situations. However, Mike Hilton made some other plays. Where's my notes here? He forces a fumble right before the half. After the quarterback kind of bobbled the snap because it hit the ground, he picked it up. Mike Hilton came on the blitz, knocked it out. That was good. Had a nice pass breakup in the 3rd quarter, and guess where he was playing? Playing at safety. Yes, we've actually seen Mike Hilton at safety in game, and he played pretty well. Like I said, made a nice big hit on a leaping tight end, I believe it was, because Cam Sutton had good coverage underneath. Made him go up for it, and he did what a safety is supposed to do. Put your helmet right in that back. Drops the ball. Beautiful stuff. Mike Hilton looked a little better at safety than he did tonight. in the slot as far as coverage. But then he did have another play or two in the slot where he got a PBU. So I'm not going to panic. I'm just saying he's not showing the same capability in this game as far as his coverage in the slot. Just this game. No need to panic. But it's very interesting to see, number one, they put him at safety in game. We've been hearing about this, since last year's training camp. And number two, keep in mind that they're working out Cam Kelly in the slot. They're also working out Sutton in the slot. So could this be telling us something? Could this be a peak of something that maybe Hilton will get more opportunities deep? Or maybe some of these other guys might have more coverage opportunity in the slot when it's a particular situation. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Now let's talk about Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson fumbles and muffs a punt. Didn't like that. Did not like that. He should have fair caught it. Okay, now, regardless of the fact that he muffed it, some people are going to say you can't muff it, and I fully agree, you can't. You can't muff the punt, right? But I had a bigger problem, too, with the fact that my man didn't fair catch that. I mean, it was right in his face. And I understand he's trying to make plays. Listen, he's trying to show that he could be somebody and be somebody this year. I get it. But you got to be smart. All right, but moving on. Later on in the game, makes a great adjustment to a back shoulder throw by Dobbs, catches the ball, and fights his way into the end zone. Beautiful. They called it an offensive PI, which it wasn't. It was very minimal contact. He made the adjustment, had his hand pretty much on the hip of the defender. It was nothing that impeded the movement of the defender. They called OPI. We challenge it, and it doesn't get overturned. So I'm very curious to see how this was going to play out throughout the year. What are the refs going to be looking at? Steelers just get the ball back here. There was a fumble. I'm going to take a look over here and see who caused it or what have you. Let me see. And then I'll probably go ahead and cut it off, man, from here. Who was that? Who forced that fumble? I have no idea. I don't even know the names of some of these guys. There's another number 24 out there. Not sure who that is. Allen was on the play. And Casey Sales recovers it. Okay, Marcus Allen. Okay, I see you. But all right, man, let me go ahead and cut this off now. I guess we don't really need this on. Or at least turn it down. But yeah, interesting, man. I'm interested to see how they're going to deal with this offensive pass interference, man, as far as the challenging. Because that definitely clearly should have went our way, and it didn't. I'm not being biased here. I was looking to see, did he push off? And if he did, I would have said, okay, good call. But I'm very concerned, man, just not even just for the Steelers, but for the league, seeing that they didn't overturn that. Very interesting. All right, and then he comes right back, man, and makes a great catch in the end zone, as you guys probably heard me report while I was here live on the show. So he did a couple things, made a mistake on the punt, but he did a couple things, right? So I'm encouraged by what Deontay Johnson might be able to bring us. Now, just to spin off of that, you got Spencer. This guy, Dante Spencer, I think it is, or is it Deontay Spencer? Let me tell you something, man, and I said this on Twitter. Guys like Switzer might be in trouble, and let me explain to you why. This kid showed 2 good returns. He had a big return for 37 yards on a punt. He had another decent one, about 10 to 15 yards later on, made a guy miss, gave him a crazy juke, and just got positive yards out of what probably was really nothing there. And then showing what he's able to do in the end-around game, he has a chance. And if we have to create a special team spot for him, it might have to be at the expense of cutting one of the receivers. Now, I don't know if it's going to be Eli or Switzer, but I'll tell you this much. Eli seems to be ahead of Switzer right now. He's clearly ahead of him in the depth chart. But then I know Ben Roethlisberger seems to like Switzer. So I don't know. I just think that it's going to be tough to keep a guy like Spencer out of the race as a returner, as at least a punt returner. We'll see what Deontay Johnson can give us, but I mean, you cannot give away speed like that. And if he's a specialist, then let him do it, man. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be an interesting fight all the way down to the wire. And I'm interested in seeing it. So, all right, now let me just talk about a couple things, man. Two other players. Obviously, let's talk about Joshua Dobbs really quick. One word describes Joshua Dobbs to me. Inconsistent. And he showed it in his game. He makes a good play, then he turned around and he makes a bad play, a bonehead play. And what am I talking about? Okay? Has a nice throw to Eli Rogers, nice placement. Then he throws an interception in the red zone where it sails over the receiver's head, right? Then he made a nice play in the third on a rollout, and found Raider, the tight end, number 87. Nice play there. On the same drive, he broke out of a sack. It was like a 3rd and 5. Broke out of a sack, juked the guy, got to the first down. And it's little plays like that might keep him on the roster. However, looking at how Devlin Hodges is kind of playing here, I think the battle is definitely between Hodges and Dobbs. I mean, some people might say it's obvious, but some people say it's not that obvious. Some people think that Dobbs is still in the running for the number 2. Guys, I apologize. And that leads me to Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph won the number 2 job tonight, guys. I'm here to tell you that. In my opinion. I'm not on the staff. But in my opinion, Dobbs won the number 2 spot. Rudolph. Rudolph won the number 2 spot tonight. He looked great. He looked comfortable. To me, he looked very comfortable and confident. A little shaky on the first drive, but you saw his poise come out. You saw some footwork. We saw him avoid a sack, getting out of the pocket and nearly, completing a pass on that play. And then you just saw him taking shots down the field. That ball he threw into traffic to James Washington. It was like 3 or 4 guys around him. Perfect placement. He looked very clean, man. Looked very clean. Who's this other guy, number 24 here, guys, that just made that big tackle right there? It got to be one of the newer guys that came in. I'm trying to see his name. Oh, that's P.J. Locke. Okay, P.J. Locke. All right. But, Rudolph looked comfortable to me, man. I'm just saying. His comfort level just looked like it went through the roof tonight. And that just is what it is. I think he won the number 2 job tonight. My opinion, you guys are welcome to disagree, but I think Mason Rudolph is our number 2 quarterback. The fight is going to be between Dobbs and your boy Hodges. And if I was the team, to be honest, real talk, it's only Dobbs and Hodges in the 4th preseason game. Maybe you let Rudolph play some more next week after Ben is done, because you would think some teams are going to keep their starters out a little longer. Ben will probably do a quarter. They don't usually let Ben do the whole half anymore. So, yeah. So we'll see. So now, guys, I'm just going to talk about some individual things that happened tonight really, really quick. Then I'll go to the phone queue, and like I said, 2 minutes, and I'm going to be very strict with the 2 minutes. Like I said, if you're still talking, no disrespect, but I'll just mute you and say, all right, I appreciate your call. Keep it to 2 minutes. So, all right, here's a couple things, man. Excuse me. And by the way, for some of you guys that might be asking how I've been, I'm not looking at the chat. I'm a lot better, as you can clearly see. I got over the little sickness bug. Still got a little remnants of it. That's probably why I'm coughing. Got a little, still a little mucus in the chest or whatever. But I'm good. Clearly, you guys can see I'm back to normal for the most part. So, all right, man, you got to note this. Oh, wait a minute. Deep shot to the end zone. Okay, nothing. Got to note this. McDonald fumbles the ball forward. I'm not going to go without mentioning that. We were told in camp there were really no fumbles by offensive players, and McDonald fumbles the ball on the tackle. Need to secure the ball. A lot of messy play out there. Nice blitz pickup I saw by Connor on one of those early possessions. Great blitz pickup by him. Okorafor, man. Chooks gave up that big sack, man, on the second offensive series. And it's continuing to happen. Even if you listen to Alex Kazor, that's been giving us all of the great training camp insight, that's what's been happening with him. He's not really, showing up to be what he needs to be. So clearly Matt Fowler is probably going to win the right tackle position. And, the guy's still young. He's still raw. Let's not throw him out with the bathwater just yet. But you know, is what it is. What else did I say? Burns. Artie Burns. Artie Burns had a decent showing out there, didn't he? Now, we know he generally does this in camp, but I will say this. How many times have we been able to say that we saw Artie Burns look good in a preseason game? We'll see. You know, maybe Artie Burns, it better suits him to be a rotational piece instead of a starter. But I got to say, Artie Burns played pretty well. Now, I gave him credit for forcing the fumble. Actually, when they showed the replay, it was actually Terrell Edmonds that forced that fumble on Kansas City early in the game. And Burns actually, you know, made a decent tackle, but the guy kind of broke it. But he impeded the progress enough for, you know, Edmonds to come from behind, knock the ball out. So that was a great, you know, series of events there. And overall, like I said, Artie Burns did some things, made some nice tackles. Looked solid for the time that he was out there against the starters, but we shall see. Dante Moncrief fumbles. Come on, Moncrief. Come on, man. We can't have that. And I know you've had a dislocated finger or whatever the case may be. It was wet out there. I get it. But come on, brother. We can't have that. We definitely cannot have that. Let me see what else I got. Excuse me. Bud Dupree. Hey, man. That's all I'm going to say. And don't expect Kenyon to comment on it because Kenyon said he will not speak on him anymore. But listen. Bud Dupree has not been what we have wanted him to be. He has not been as advertised over the last several years, but I just need him to be good this year, you know, because we're stuck with him. So for those, and I'm not talking about Kenyon, and he knows that. I'm just talking about anybody else that feels like, oh, he sucks, da-da-da-da. Guys, however we may feel about him, we need him to play well this year. So to me, it doesn't matter how you feel about him. And again, just so y'all know the distinction, I know why Kenyon says what he says. That's different. That's a side thing that between me, him, and Tony. I'm just talking about still a nation that's, you know, all they want to do is criticize him and why is he on the fit? What else are we going to do? He's on the team. They decided to renew the 5th-year option. We need him to play good, whether we hate or love him. Same way I feel about Artie Burns. I need Artie Burns to play well when he's in the game. He's not my favorite cornerback, but I need him to play well. So to see Bud Dupree playing well, opposite of TJ Watt, I like what I saw tonight. And he was going up against some quality opponents. Even when it got in later in the game, even a guy like Cam Irvin as a starter, he's not the greatest, but you know what I'm saying? Bud Dupree got off tonight, and as did TJ Watt. TJ Watt was getting consistent pressure. So we need Bud Dupree to just be somewhat of an opposite. That's all we need from him. And we good. Grimble drops a perfect pass from Rudolph. Y'all saw that. Lane and Snell makes a nice big play on special teams. We did a punt. Lane gets down there first. The punt returner kind of kicks out of the tackle, but then Snell was right there as he forces the returner to run backwards, trying to create some space and got a tackle. So that was good to see the young guys hustle down the field. Beautiful play call on that Samuels touchdown. When Fowler was pulling, offensive line seals the edge, and Samuels literally walks in the end zone untouched. And it was a nice tackle on 3rd down by Gilbert. I just wrote that here in the 4th quarter. You guys probably saw that. I'm still liking what I'm seeing out of Gilbert, man. I like you saw the difference. When Gilbert and when passes were going his way, you saw some better coverage outside of what you were seeing with Metakevich. And for some of you guys who are probably wondering why did they play Metakevich, it's a depth thing. They're going to give him a shot. Bush didn't play. Williams didn't play. So that, obviously you got to get some more pieces out there. You know, somebody else to play with Gilbert when Gilbert finally came in, you know, and to play with Barron. So it is what it is. But I'm still liking the promise that we see in Gilbert. I'm hoping he's going to make the 53. Excuse me. I don't want him to have to be a practice squad guy. I don't want any risk of him being, you know, a guy that we got to try to clear through waivers and all of that. Speaking of which, side note, Matthew Thomas was cut by the Ravens a couple weeks ago. So for you guys that was so sour about that, you know, it hurt me because he was a Knoll. So I wanted him to stay with the Steelers, but it just goes to show you sometimes the staff knows what they're doing. So I just wanted to give you guys that update in case y'all didn't see that a couple weeks ago. That's about it, man. Wait. Second half, I did have a note. Brian Allen missed the tackle on 3rd and 2 that gave up a first down. And then I talked about Spencer, which I already covered Spencer earlier here in the stream. Brian Allen is probably on his way out as well, man. We'll see. You know, we do have shaky depth right there, but Brian Allen is probably looking at, you know, these last couple games being the last few games that he's going to play, at least as a Pittsburgh Steeler, but we shall see. And a few side notes. There was a penalty, a silly penalty after the kickoff, after the touchdown. The late subs are showing up as well. You know, we got called for 12 men on the field, and then you saw in that same possession, that same drive that, you know, they were trying to sneak somebody on the field and just, you know, people running out late. Come on, Steelers. Come on, coaches. Whoever's dictating those subs, get them out there faster. Come on, we can't continue to have this type of stuff creep up. And then also I talked about tight end Raider. He gets called for 2 holding penalties. And one of them was on a 4th down conversion. Come on, man. Come on, man. You're probably not going to make the team, but you definitely ain't going to make it like that. And the last thing I got before I get to the calls, I see we got 3 calls. Again, I'm letting y'all know now, 2 minutes. That's all I can afford tonight. And after that, I got to either mute you and move on, or it is what it is. Skipper over Sutton, man. Sutton didn't play in this game either. This is not good for, what's his name? Sutton Smith. This is not good. Skipper's getting the reps. Skipper has made plays and has gotten sacks in both of these games. He could be the guy that overtakes Sutton Smith's spot. You know, availability is key. And I'm expecting, since he did get back into practice, I think the last practice, I was expecting him to be able to play. He didn't play tonight. Again, I don't know if that's a coaching decision, but in his case, it's not like Bush. Okay, Bush showed what he could be last week. And they're probably being cautious with him. Was like, he doesn't need to play tonight. Let's see what the other guys can do. Sutton Smith doesn't have that luxury. You have a guy playing your position that is actually performing. And let me tell you something else. Here's another side note. Anthony Chickalo ain't looking like much. Y'all know how I feel about Chick, but Chick not even flashing in preseason so far. Just saying. Same reason why I told you guys we could very well be keeping more linebackers on the roster than you think, because our depth is just not there. So that's all I got. But all right, man, let's get to these calls. After the calls, I'll spend a few minutes in the chat, and then we're going to be done. All right, and again, 2 minutes. If you're not done in about 2 minutes, y'all know what it is. Excuse me. First caller we're going to get on the line, area code 330. You are live. What you got for us tonight?
Hey, what's up, Sam?
What's going on, man?
Just was sitting here watching the game, looking at some things about it. First off, yeah, I agree. You know, we need him, need Bud Dupree to step up, but at the same time, number 82, love him. Yeah, Switzer, he out. I'm sorry. He don't got the same speed as him, and I haven't seen somebody move like that since the original 82 that I grew up with, Mr. Randall L.
Yeah, man, he shows again, I don't know what he's going to be, but it's like I spoke about last week. You can see certain things without seeing a lot in a player. Like, I can see that this dude has home run capability and he plays very fast. And that's all I need to know. I mean, he's not going to start anyway. But if I'm talking about having a guy that I can bring in for a gadget play or whatever he can give us at the slot or returning, I might have to take my chances with him.
And you see, that's the thing about it. I was just looking up his stats and everything. His 2 returns that he got was for 49 yards. Okay, his longest was a 38-yard run. But if you look at the sideline to sideline, he actually bust at least a 50-yard run on that to get that 38 yards.
2-minute warning.
He did, man. He did, man. And
time's up.
Definitely appreciate you calling and giving your thoughts, man. That's your 2 minutes. We got to move on. But yeah, appreciate you, brother. Like I always do. 82 is showing some pop. You know, I'm not going to go as far as saying that he outright gets Switzer out of there. I'm just saying it's going to be tough because we have to remember that Ben likes Switzer. Switzer did some things in stadiums, like Tomlin would say, last year. It's going to be interesting, man, because you would expect Johnson to be your returner. And yeah, he muffed a punt tonight, but, you know, you give him another shot. But I don't think you can deny a guy like Spencer. And we don't know what Spencer is actually going to give us at receiver. So it's interesting. But I won't just kick Switzer out like that. I'm just saying he could be in trouble. Moving on, area code 412. You are live. What you got for us tonight?
Hey, Sim. It's Smitty from Pittsburgh.
Oh, what's going on, Smitty?
I'm just sitting here with my dad watching the game. I'm on the Spencer bandwagon and get rid of Switzer too. Like you said, we really only use Switzer. Honestly, if Eli's healthy, we're only going to use him for some gadget plays. So why not upgrade in that better position? Because I think if I want to put Spencer in the backfield, I think we'll hit the hole a lot quicker. You know what I mean? So because they did it with Tyreek Hill in Kansas City, and second of all, they're trying to say like Hilton. I didn't like him returning kicks either. I think Spencer is a better kick returner also, because everybody's trying to say, well, we need a bigger receiver body. I disagree. Look at Kansas City's wide receivers. They're not that big. That size is overrated in my opinion. I think the Steelers prove that. And also, I also want to go to Bud Dupree. There's a report from DK Pittsburgh Sports called Christopher Carter saying that the reason why they fired Joey Porter because his techniques that he was teaching Bud wasn't really working for him. So Tomlin told Bud to really just work at your strengths, just play to your strengths and speed. So I think we really see that with him be able to just go upfield and just. I think his technique does look a little bit better from what I've seen. Even though it was a backup tackle, I thought he was really good. And also my last point is I think people can get off of Benny Snell's back because he may not be the best running back, but I remember Jalen Samuels last year. He was kind of slow to the hole also. And also, remember, these Steelers running backs are going to lose weight their first season. And also, from everything else I've seen, from special
2-minute warning
to pass blocking in the backfield, and also his hands, it's all been good. But I just want to give you my 2 cents and jump off and like leave you on there all night. Thanks.
Yeah, man, I fully agree with that. Bud Dupree, he looked better, you know. But I think, you know, for guys like myself and Kenyon, we've seen it. You know, it's like we're at a point where Bud has to prove it. You know, I can't get overly excited about what I saw tonight, but I will say I did see some slightly differences in him. Like he had a little quick rip. You know, he used his hands a little bit. Not you know, to the level I would want it as far as him having an actual move. Still using his speed. But if he could just be the speed to power type of guy, I'm cool with that. If he's the one-trick pony, just be good at your one trick. But I did see him use his hands a little bit and quickly knock the hands down, use the speed. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking, but we shall see. All right, guys, we got 2 more calls. I will say this now. I won't take more than 2 additional more calls than these 2. So if anybody is listening, I won't take more than that tonight. But we got 2 more calls. You guys are doing great at the 2 minutes. We're going to bring area code 609. You are live. What you got for us, man?
What's going on, SimFBallCritic?
What's good? Good, man.
Cool, man. I feel as though this game tonight was much better than last week's game. Mason Rudolph felt much more comfortable. Like you said, Josh Rudolph was just inconsistent. Benny Snell was like everybody else, like that played like last week. You know, Benny Snell, Ulysses S. Gilbert, James Washington, everybody else was like, you know, playing a little like comfortable and stuff like that. You know, I want to see more of Mason Rudolph. I really want to see more of James Washington and most definitely Deontay Johnson because I think he's going to be a really good sleeper
in this season and stuff, him and James Washington, because I think they can cause some havoc, alongside with Juju, in the receiving core and stuff. I want to see more Ulysses Gilbert stuff. I really like that guy. He's a really, like a new age, linebacker and stuff like that we really been missing and stuff, So, everybody did good and stuff like that. Mike Hilton, he had a couple beat plays and stuff like that, but I think, my last thing I really didn't like is Marcus Allen. I think Marcus Allen ain't gonna make the team. Son Smith's not gonna make the team. Matt Cavish ain't gonna make the team. Holland's not gonna make the team. Switch is not gonna make the team. Yeah, I'm sorry for them. I really hate to see them not on the team, but it is what it is.
2-minute warning.
Create the best 53-man roster we can. So I'm gonna hop off.
All right, man. Appreciate the call, man. And the funny thing is, guys, I didn't even realize I did have my little 2-minute warning and times up little sound bites in there. I just don't have them on my my program thing that I have to manually push it. But y'all guys are doing great. And 812, same thing, man. I'm about to come to you in a second. I forgot to respond to the other caller about Benny Snell, and since my man here said the same thing, let me talk about that really quick. Listen, I'm not panicking about Benny Snell either. I mean, what are we trying to see out of him? Think about this. I'm seeing what I saw at Kentucky for the most part. College is a different game, but Benny Snell to me is not this elite back. He's not a home run hitter. He's a consistent runner, downhill runner, power guy. He looks like he's going to be the short yardage back in a lot of scenarios. So I'm seeing enough out of him so far. And again, let's not forget, he's third on the depth chart for the most part. Clearly, they're showing you that Samuels is probably going to be your change of pace back to James Conner. Give Snell some time. Like, again, I'm not the type of fan that I don't look for these guys to be world beaters right away. I just, again, like I said, I've matured over the years as a fan. And I look at things differently now, especially being in this type of quote-unquote semi-analyst type of role with the with me doing a podcast and all of that. I look at it a little differently. I don't, I look at everything. His pass protection is looking good. Like little stuff like that. Give the kids some time, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was saying how bad Jalen Samuels was, and then he has this game against New England, and we like, oh, you got that? So, pump the brakes. All right, man. Area 812, you are live. What you got for us tonight?
Oh, nothing, man. How are you doing to start off?
I'm good, man. Very good.
Hey, I just got done watching the game, man, and just want to start off with something positive. It's easy to point out the negatives on everything, man.
Yeah.
Judging from who we lost, A.B., Le'Veon Bell, that's been our kind of go-to guys for years, but I like what I've seen out of James Washington. I think he's really going to be good, and I honestly think a mixture between him and Juju will put up the same numbers as AB did for sure. I like what I've seen out of James Conner, Benny Snell. He could be kind of the Jerome Bettis type, like you were just saying, the short yardage, pound the ball, downhill runner. I 100% agree with you on that, and I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Devin Bush. The dude's an animal.
Yeah.
The defense looking better, I'm trying not to stay on the negative side of stuff because that's going to happen, especially with who we've lost. I really like the draft pick we had. I'm not much on the wide receiver, Deontay Johnson, but he did all right tonight. He shows, spurs of that he can kind of fill that void, but I would kind of like to get your thoughts on it as far as him and that draft pick, because I necessarily don't agree with
2-minute
him
warning.
when we got him. I think we could have got him later, but
Yeah, man. Well, I definitely appreciate your call. I don't think I've seen your number pop up before, area 812. So I appreciate your call, man. You may be a new caller. And that's gonna do it for tonight, guys, as far as calls. So if you guys, if you see the number there, I'm not gonna answer any more calls tonight. I'm probably gonna stay on maybe about 5 more minutes, and I will give my thoughts and reflections on what my guy said there. I don't know about that. And rest in peace to Daryl Drake, man. He said that he knows for a fact that Tampa Bay would have taken him had we not taken him. He had such high praise for him. And again, some people might not believe in this, but that could also be another reason why Johnson was so overzealous and trying to do everything he could, trying to pay his respects to Daryl Drake, a guy who pounded the table for him. And he did some good things. Excuse me, I just didn't like the way he fielded the punt. But he did some great things offensively. I think that kid is going to be special. I really do. Because of his intangibles. The way he adjusted to that football. You remember when I said when we drafted him, when I did my profile on him, Kenyon and I both, we said, some of those plays, and y'all remember I said this verbatim, some of them throws that are not completely on the spot, he has trouble catching those. That wasn't the case on that touchdown. It was a touchdown. That was not offensive PI. And then the concentration of him catching the actual touchdown from the pass from Devlin Hodges. Again, adjusting to the play, getting his hands under the ball, corralling it, making sure it doesn't move even though the tip of the ball hit the ground. We didn't see a lot of that from him in college. That was our biggest concern. What about those, the concentration catches and the ones that are not right in his radius? I think he did good. We're hearing that he's an excellent route runner. I think he's going to be special. But let's just remember to not try to compare him to Antonio Brown. But you've heard me say he plays like Antonio Brown in terms of the way he plays. He is not Antonio Brown, but I think he's going to be special. So, all right, guys, fire away in the chat, man. 3 to 5 more minutes. I saw Leonard was saying Rodgers is gone. Leonard, I don't know what you're looking at. And I'm not talking about just performance. I'm talking about pay attention to the pecking order. Eli Rodgers, I would be surprised if they cut him only because of the way they're playing this. If they do, they do. But the way they're playing it, it seems like Eli is cool. Eli was running with the number ones. Remember what I said. The very first possession, they went 11 personnel. The 3 wides were Eli, Moncrief, and Juju. So clearly they have some plan of that type of set being thrown out there, as well as I'm sure you're going to see a Moncrief, a Juju, and a Washington set. So I'm just saying. What else y'all got? Kenya says Deontay will be special. Relax. I believe it. Randy says Deontay needs to put on more muscle to last the season. Yeah, you might be right about that. He's a little thin. Needs to get stronger. Official says the Steelers will be fine. I'm sure of that, and this is coming from a football fan. It'll take a little time to get there, but they will get it right. Yeah, I believe that. And I did see another guy. Who was this? Who was it? Randy Levitt. My man, he dumps on a lot of stuff, man. But look, I'll let you have your opinion, man. The whole debate about if we had another coach, we'd have 9 Super Bowls. Dog, that is so extreme. Bill Belichick don't got 9. So you talking about, I don't know. But I guess you're saying we would have 3 more to go along with our 6. So in reality, that's 3 more. We can say that until we blue in the face. There's no way to prove that. The biggest issues the Steelers have had has been defensively. And if another coach is in there, it still means that everybody else has to do their job. The GM, the defensive coaching. We've had the offense. So I cannot put that entire thing on Tomlin. There's way more people that are involved with that. Ownership, GM, defensive staff, and Tomlin. The defense is the reason why we have not won Super Bowls over the last 10 years. That's it. So, but again, Randy, I'm going to let you have your opinion. I'm not going to get into the back and forth because you'll believe what you'll believe. I'll believe what I believe, and it's no point. Let's see. The Pokemon says, not comparing to Brown. No one is Brown. We will see. We all have our own outlook. I just don't care for Johnson, but he's a great route runner, but did we not already have any? What about the deep threat? Okay, that's fair, but again, that's your opinion. I like Johnson's upside, so I'm not going to argue it. Hexagon Gaming says, couldn't watch today. I was at work. How did James Washington do? James Washington made big plays once again, attacking the ball. And I think that's all that James Washington's problem was last year. Maybe he wasn't all the way confident. Like in Denver, you got to run through that. You catch that ball instead of trying to jump for it. That was a touchdown. This year, it looks like he'll play that a little better, judging on how he's played these last 2 weeks. Still Jedi says, can't call in tonight, but Rudolph absolutely proved he's getting the number 2 spot tonight. Plus Johnson and Washington and the defense look scary tonight. Okay, Jedi. I'll read 2 or 3 more comments, guys, then we're going to get out of here. Laquan Lighty says Marcus Allen needs to run with the starting defense or second defense. He's with the third team defense. I feel he'll show off. Yeah, it's tough, man. You know, it's tough because we don't see the ins and outs. A lot of us have our favorite players, and, you know, we think they would do this and we think they would do that, but we don't see how they're performing. We don't know why, you know, the coaching staff, you know, neglect certain guys being in certain lineups. I have to trust that they know what they're doing. I would like to see Marcus Allen get more opportunity, but we keep hearing that Cam Kelly has flashed more. So I don't know. Yenzamov says, to me, it seems like a lack of preparation has been their downfall in the past. Yeah, I could definitely go along with that. But again, I'm saying we can all say we haven't had the best defensive talent. So preparation, I'm sure, has a part in that. I'm sure it does. But I just can't sit here and act as if the head coach is the only reason why we haven't won 3 or 4 Super Bowls in the last 10 years. I'm sorry. I'm just not there with people who think that way. And it ain't got nothing to do with because it's Tomlin. I'm just saying in general, I don't look at our Steelers and say the head coach is the only reason why we haven't won 3 or 4 Super Bowls in the last 10 years. I'm sorry. Y'all ain't going to get me to believe that. Moncrief worth keeping? Come on, man. Moncrief is going to be the starter. All right, 2 more comments. More AGWS says, think Rudolph could be the future with Juju being in Monster and his connection with Washington. Also, the running game could be very good with Connor and Samuels and Snell. I agree with that. Give me another one. Toke Man says, Mike Tomlin is a top 3 coach. Listen, I don't understand why a lot of other people don't see that. And I would say that if I was not a Steelers fan. I just don't. I get if you're not a fan of his, but some people just go way off the rail. Like, I don't know. But it is what it is. All right, man, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Last one, Champagne Poppy. People love to blame Tomlin for everything, but never hold the players accountable. Champagne Poppy, you must be reading my mind during the season. I'll continue to say this. I've even had this conversation with Leonard while watching the game. And there's times when you can clearly see the player made the mistake, but I digress. Be blessed, folks. This was a great night, a great win for our Steelers. We got a great turnout tonight, 128 live viewers. So make sure y'all hit that like button because for whatever reason, y'all like the content, but you never like the actual content. Do me a favor and hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, if you enjoyed what you saw here tonight and you would like to have more content come your way, make sure you subscribe and cut on your notifications so you know when content is available. Last but not least, if you feel the need to donate to the cause, you can do so right here on YouTube. Click the $ in the bottom right corner of the chat. Or if you prefer PayPal, I have a PayPal address in the description. Have at it. Of course, always appreciate it, never required. But outside of that, be on the lookout for Terrible Towel Tuesday coming up this Tuesday. This was a great night, great win. We saw some good things, saw some bad things, but we'll have some more to talk about on Tuesday. Y'all be good, be blessed, be safe, good night, and thank you for tuning in to the Terrible Towel post-game show. Peace.